You seen this? Unknown. Unidentified settlement ships. You are moving into a restricted...
They just opened fire. We're f***ing fire. Native guns are attacking our airship! Pilot hit!
This is a full-blown invasion!
Oh my god.
We are getting breaking news out of Switzerland.
Geneva has suffered a massive attack.
Death count continues to rise, and there's no end in sight.
This is Top Cat Sovereign. Divert and deploy all available assets immediately.
Holy shit!
Let's get to the tower! Go! Fix the house!
Biggest surprise attack in the history of the world. How could they not have seen this coming? It's one of our own!
We have no precedent for this. We have no playbook for this. And apparently, we have little time.
Let me make our situation absolutely clear. We are now at war with the Settlement Defense Front. Godspeed, Captains.
You got eyes on this, Reyes?
Affirmative. Let's get in there!
Pre-order the Legacy Edition and get Modern Warfare Remastered.
Well, there you have it, guys and girls. Call of Duty 2016 is officially Infinite Warfare. We've had leaks and little teasers within Black Ops 3 for a couple of days now, but now it is confirmed. This game is all about Earth getting attacked by the Settlement Defense Force and then the good old people trying to go up there into space and bring the fight back to these invaders. I think it sets up for a pretty cool premise, and I think those of you who are worried that Call of Duty is just becoming Halo, because some of those early shots of the invasion did remind me, and probably you, of Halo. But I think you should take solace in the fact that they are keeping this military versus military. It's not an evil alien life force. It's not some, galactic end-of-the-world calamity. It's really humans versus humans, and you heard them say in the trailer when they were talking about this is the biggest surprise attack in the history of the world, and it's one of our own, or people of our own. So it's humans who clearly went out to go and explore the galaxy and now are coming back to rebel and take over Earth. At least that's the idea that I get from this. And it'll be interesting to see how much of the gameplay is on Earth versus in outer space or on other planets or on these other settlements that the Settlement Defense Force is defending. I'm assuming that majority of the game will take place out of Earth, but I'm sure there'll be some missions back in Earth or on Earth. You heard them say at the beginning, like Switzerland and Geneva had, big attacks as well. I actually hope most of the game does take place in more exotic and unique environments. You saw some moments of them traversing through a space station, battling in 0G, and while I don't want the entire game to be in 0G, I did think it looked kind of cool and almost Dead Space-esque when they were walking through that dark space station, and you saw sort of that weird grappling hook gameplay where he sucked the guy towards him in outer space and then broke his neck. So hopefully they can come up with some unique levels, unique mechanics that keep things fun and fresh. Usually that's what Call of Duty does best, is throwing you a curveball every now and again, and we see one where you're fighting via like a fighter jet that can break the atmosphere. That'll sure be a cool level, and then hopefully, like I said, they do more interesting things. But I think it's interesting to point out that they are, keeping this very militarized and not going sort of the like crazy space alien weaponry route. Now, that's not to say that it won't end up being aliens at some point, or these humans were infected by aliens or mind controlled by aliens, or that there is some third faction in this war that plays a very central role. But from what we know so far, it is very military focused, which I think is what keeps it tried and true to the Call of Duty name. And I know a lot of people are bummed that they're not going back to World War II, or that they're not doing something in the reverse direction. But remember, after Advanced Warfare, after Black Ops 3, it'd be really hard to sell a game and say like, hey, all those cool features we just implemented for the last two are now removed and we're going backwards. Once they came out with Advanced Warfare and sort of the movement system there, it was going to be very hard for a new Call of Duty to go backwards and remove features. That's really hard to market and sell. Like, hey, it's got less than last year. Plus, you have to remember that Titanfall 2 is dropping this year, and that's going to be a massive multi-platform game for EA, so it will be competing directly with Call of Duty. It's not just an Xbox One exclusive. It's going to be coming out across all platforms, and therefore Call of Duty probably feels like they need to go super future to compete with the sci-fi nature of Titanfall 2. Granted, they're separate franchises, but that's just kind of how marketing works and how these cyclical things go. Maybe in a few years, people will be bored of the future and go back. For those of you that already are bored of the future, though, they are including a remastered Modern Warfare Call of Duty 4 that is coming with the campaign and 10 multiplayer maps. I think that's very surprising that they're delivering 10 multiplayer maps. I was almost sure that they wouldn't do multiplayer in effort to not split the audience, because now you're going to have some people playing Infinite Warfare multiplayer and some people playing Modern Warfare multiplayer, and they made very clear that you only get Modern Warfare Remastered if you buy the special edition. I'm sure they'll sell it separately as a download. They may do a disc version of it. That would probably push a ton of sales this holiday, but it would also possibly cannibalize the Infinite Warfare sales, and Infinite Warfare will be a full 60, whereas Remastered, I'm guessing, will be 30. Anyhow, I think it's interesting that they decided to go with two multiplayer, and it'll be kind of weird to see where the player base gravitates, and what if Modern Warfare has more players than Infinite Warfare, and how do they spin that, and how do they keep Infinite Warfare going with DLC and whatnot if Modern Warfare is eating some of the player base. But I just think it's going to be really interesting to see a three-headed battle this fall, because you are getting later this week a Battlefield 5 reveal. You've got Titanfall 2, like I mentioned, and then Infinite Warfare, and the rumors for Battlefield lean that one more in the old school direction, possibly going back to World War I or World War II. And so if you've got Titanfall 2 and Infinite Warfare kind of duking it out in the futuristic space, and then you have Battlefield 5 going more in the direction that it seems like FPS fans want it to go, how will things shape out sales-wise and mindshare wise, and then player base wise? I mean, ultimately, I think Call of Duty is number 1, then Battlefield number 2, and Titanfall number 3 historically. But this year, I wouldn't be surprised to see Titanfall 2 climb those ranks, and perhaps if the Call of Duty fatigue and the feeling that future is not where fans want to be really plays a role, then maybe Call of Duty drops to number 2 or 3. All in all, in the end, I think all 3 games sell super well. All 3 games have a sizable player base for the foreseeable future. There are a ton of consoles out there right now, and there will be even more by the fall. So it'll be interesting to see 3 big AAA shooter franchises duking it out. Can Titanfall ascend to really compete with Battlefield and Call of Duty? Does Call of Duty still have the gusto to overcome other competitors, and how will Battlefield 5 fare if they do decide to go more antiquated, or will Battlefield 5 also go super futuristic? A first for that franchise, and then we've got 3 futuristic games duking it out. It would be interesting, though, if Titanfall 2's got like super crazy fast movement and these giant robot mechs. Infinite Warfare has space and super crazy movement and robots and invasions. And then Battlefield 5 was like, yo, it's World War II coming at you from Russia and Germany and Japan. That would just be like a very weird contradiction, and I'd be curious to see how reviews and hype and everything played out. Who knows? Maybe everyone would just truly love the old school stuff, or maybe people will realize, wait, we don't want this. It's boring compared to the more modern stuff. I don't know. Let me know if you have any opinions on that. Titanfall 2, Battlefield 5, Infinite Warfare, old, new, what you like. But nonetheless, I think it looks pretty cool. Infinity Ward's last Call of Duty was not so hot, so hopefully they are back on track with this one after having a sizable development cycle and the chance to, learn the ins and outs of the Xbox One and PS4 infrastructure, architecture, and development. Anyhow, let me know what you guys think. If you're excited for Infinite Warfare, I'm still excited. I think the earlier teaser set up a pretty cool villain and kind of a storyline that seemed very, very dire and severe and intense, which is what the campaigns usually are, and the best ones. And it comes out on Friday the 4th, so get you ready for the big weekend before the election. Anyhow, guys and girls, thanks so much for watching Have a Fantastic Day. Let me know your thoughts on Infinite Warfare and the Modern Warfare Remaster in the comments down below. Until that time, though, drink so much all. Thanks again. I love you. We'll see you all later.